We are living in unprecedented times. No matter what industry you come from, we must all review, rethink, and reinvent ourselves. Are you an entrepreneur that is trying to adapt your business to the new norm? Well, you are listening to the 2020 Entrepreneur, a podcast that will motivate you and have you think outside of the box. My name is Hugo Almeida, and with over 30 years of being an entrepreneur, I am here to share and inspire you with my experiences and help invent a new you. Hello, everybody. Welcome once again to T20E World. Hugo here, and today we're talking about something that I love to talk about, and that is the world of sales. But hear me out. In this episode, we are talking about 3 common mistakes that I still see salespeople making. And I'm including all the veterans out there. They still make at least one of these 3 mistakes. But here it is. Number 1 is going in overconfident, arrogant, and cocky. And you're going in with your pitch. And the one thing you're missing here is you're not listening to the need of your customer. So let that register right now. Number 1 is not listening to the need of your customer. Now, I was a young guy in sales at one time, and yes, I have to unfortunately label myself. Maybe I was overconfident and cocky. I go in with my pitch, and I did not do a good job of always listening to the needs. And the way you do this is by asking solid questions and allowing your customer to speak. Something many of us young salespeople have a problem with, right? We want to almost convince the customer when we go in that we are experts. We know it all. So listen to me and let's say, leave that home, okay? Because the truth of the matter is, a good salesperson will always listen and identify the need of a customer. By doing so, you are winning and gaining your customer's confidence, which eventually makes you their go-to person, their consultant. This is so important because not only can you close this opportunity, but future deals and future opportunities. You're always going to be included in future bids or projects. So that's number 1, okay? Listen to your customer's needs. Mistake number 2 is assuming. Man, in sales, this has got to be one of the worst things you can always do. And unfortunately, most salespeople I know, including myself early on, we've learned this the hard way because we assume. Now, assuming in anything you do in life is not good. You got to ask questions and you got to be sure, especially when you're selling solutions, right? Whatever it may be that you're pitching to an account, a customer, you can't assume that they're on the same page as you. So if there's ever, now listen to me, if there's ever a doubt in your mind, that means you should be asking that question because you want to be 200% sure when you leave that appointment that you are certain this is what the customer expected and this is exactly what you're going to be delivering. So assumption is a major, major player. And here's another little example. Even when it comes to logistics, man, say you're selling a product, okay? That product would cost you $100. The thing is, your cost might have been $80. You're making $20. Okay, fine. The thing is, there's shipping involved. Don't ever assume your vendor is covering the shipping, say from California to, Miami. Your assumptions can cost you a fortune because if you multiply that widget that cost $100 times a lot more, you're talking about thousands and thousands of dollars. Okay, that's just a little example. I'm using logistics as a little example because it happens quite frequently. And that's because we assumed. We didn't ask. Man, I can go on forever just talking about what people assume and what has happened. And again, it not only in the world of sales, but anything you do in life. Assumptions, if it comes up, if there's a doubt, start asking questions because when you leave any meeting, you better be leaving with 100, let's make that 200% certainty, okay? Let's move on to my 3rd tidbit of advice. Now, I'm sorry, I get crazy on this one because I've been in sales too long and I still see people not understanding how to properly mark up products. You're selling something, and when you're talking about gross profit margin, my friends, that is not a markup of 20%. I'm just using 20% as a number right now. If I want gross profit margin and something costs $1, do not come to me and say that's $1.20, sir, because it's not. What you just did is calculated a markup. You calculated 20% of a cost, okay? So if the product cost you $1, you just figured out 20% of that cost. And you added it to the dollar. Very, very incorrect, my friends. True gross profit margin is a formula. How you figure it out is you subtract your sales price from your cost. It's going to give you your gross profit, the total. You're going to divide that by your sales. Or let's reverse that. We don't know what we're going to sell it for yet, okay? We're going to divide, all right? If we want 20%, well, you're going to take the cost of that product and you're going to divide that, if you want 20%, by 0.8. That is going to give you your sale price. Listen, this is a podcast. I'm verbalizing this. I don't have a whiteboard, so please stay with me. Big difference between a markup and the gross profit margin, and I still see it being done, my friends. You want an example of the gaps of the money you're leaving on the table? Whew, huge. If you do a sale and you're marking it up, and I'm going to stick to that 20% markup, but let's just stick to 20% for now. Something cost you $100, all right? You're this guru shark of a salesperson. You got a product here that's $100. You want to make 20%. And all of a sudden you calculated $20 and you add it to that $100 and you're selling it for $120. Okay, that's fine. Divide this out now the right way and figure this out, the gross profit margin. And you're dividing the $100 by 0.8, that gives you $125. That's $5. $5 more onto the profitability because that is true gross profit that you're making. It's $25. Now, you might say, so I lost $5 on a deal. No, man, that's not the way to think about it because that customer comes back to you and says, yeah, that's a great price. You know what, Hugo? I need 100,000. Give me 2 container loads. That little $5 that you thought no big deal of, multiply that times 100,000 widgets. We're talking a lot of money here, guys. That's why it's so vital you understand the true difference between, a markup and the gross profit margin. In sales, we live, we eat, and we breathe gross profit margins, my friends. So in our YouTube channel, I'm going to go over this, and I'm going to be able to whiteboard it so everybody can visualize this formula. But for now, I'm going to leave you with the verbal peace of mind, and hopefully you'll do some research. If you have been making this mistake, you're going to correct it because that's what we're here to do. We're here to teach, and I don't want nobody making these mistakes because these mistakes truly equate to a lot of money, man. All right? I'm going to go over those 3 things real quick. Listening to the need of your customers. Do not assume. That's your second one. And the third, understand, man, please, the difference between what a markup is and your gross profit margin because that's where the money's at. There you go, my friends. In this short little episode, I just covered those 3 tidbits of advice. They're vital. They're going to put money in your pocket. Go out there, rise and shine every day. Go hustle and grind it. Make it happen, my friends. And this is Hugo at T20E World, and I am checking out.